Hello everybody, Ryan here with Product Impressions. I've had a Roomba before, but I moved into my new place and it has hardwood floors, vinyl plank, and carpeting in the bedroom. And so a standard Roomba really wasn't working all that well. It was making a lot of noise on the hard floor and not really doing all that much unless it was on the carpet. So now I've still got the vinyl plank, I've got an area rug, I've got carpet in one room, I've got tile in another, and it is the perfect opportunity for me to try out the Roomba Combo Essential. This is something new that Roomba has started making. It is a combination of vacuum and mop. So I'm really curious how this is going to work with cleaning multiple flooring types. How will it know the difference? How will it change? How long can it run? Let's get this thing set up and figure all this stuff out. Here it is after just finishing an almost 2-hour run, going back to the docking station. All right, I've been using this little Roomba for about a week, a little bit longer. Run it around multiple times on all the different settings that it has. And I must say it is nice, but it's almost more of like a proof of concept that they can actually make a device that does both the mopping and the vacuuming. Let's go ahead and take a look here. This is what the app looks like and all of your controls. You can see down here we've got vacuum, this one here, vacuum and mop, or just vacuum everywhere. So you can actually just start this out from wherever you happen to be. It just connects to your account online and you just tell it to run and it runs. I started this thing running when I was sitting at a stoplight on my way to the grocery store. So I remembered that I wanted to run it after I had already left, and I could just bring it up on my phone, tell it to vacuum, and it goes ahead and vacuums everywhere. You can set a schedule for it if you would like to. So you can see there's a scheduling option, and you can also see the history of when it was run. So we see here it ran from a little after 5 to almost 7 o'clock. The previous time that I ran it was a couple of days ago from about 4:30 to 7:30. It will tend to stop a little bit before the full 2 hours. I don't really see a problem with that because quite honestly, I don't think that the tank on this thing would actually be large enough if it were running for a solid 2 hours. I mean, that is a lot of dirt that it would be picking up, and it has a fairly small tank because, if we pop this out here, on the top is where you can actually see the dirt that was collected. So there we've got a fair amount of dust in the bin. I'm going to go ahead and empty that out. But over here is where we've got a little flap to add water or whatever other cleaning agent you want. So we can pop this open, you fill that with water, and I usually put in a couple drops of soap, a little bit of vinegar to make sure that it's actually cleaning. But you can see, let me go ahead and there's also little holes in the bottom here, which is where the mop attachment goes. It's a little bit finicky to actually get that to fit in appropriately, but and they also recommend that you dampen it ahead of time. So all of this kind of lends me to say that this is more of a proof of concept. While it would be nice if you could just tell this thing to mop, you have to do some significant prep work ahead of time. Filling this up, dampening the pad, sticking the pad on, and then telling it to run. I say that because it does not recommend running it with just as a vacuum with the pad on. So let me go ahead and grab that. We can go ahead and check out the pad. Here is what the little mop pad looks like. So you would just dampen this, stick it onto the bottom of this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed, but let's see. Oh, there we go. Hey, it actually went on. It was very finicky the first time that I put it on. This time it seemed to go on more easily, so perhaps some little piece just needed to break loose or something, or not break loose, but just loosen up a little bit, and it sticks on there. And let's go and pop this off. This is also a removable pad that you can then wash. So you can see we got a little strap holding it on here. There we are. It comes with an extra one of these, so you don't have to be sure to wash it every time you use it. You can go ahead and do it a couple of times, 2 different pads, to make sure that you're You know, not just running washers unnecessarily and things like that. Anyway, I've said a couple of times that this seems more like a proof of concept. My reason for saying that is in the instructions within the app as you are setting it up for the first time, it's going to tell you about like how it recommends you set it up for mopping the first time and vacuuming and all of that. And while it does say vacuum and mop everywhere, it runs the vacuum and it's mopping. It cannot tell where it's supposed to do these things. So it is just running the vacuum and spitting out water the entire time that it is vacuuming and mopping. So you have to actually arrange furniture around large area rugs or pick up the rugs, things like that, because otherwise it's just going to be spraying out the water and soaking the rug. That's perhaps overstating it because it uses very little water the entire time that it's running as a mop. So not a whole lot to worry about there as far as it causing water damage or anything like that. It doesn't even hold all that much water. But if they are saying it's meant to both be a vacuum and a mop, it would be nice if it could actually have a sensor on there to say like, oh, I'm going onto carpet, I should stop getting everything wet. That would be great, but as it stands right now, you have to rearrange the furniture, close doors, make sure that it can only go where you actually want it to mop. Otherwise, it works just like any other Roomba vacuum. If you've had one of these things before, they're just kind of mesmerizing to watch. It's like having a little pet that just kind of runs around. It's almost hypnotic the way that these things work. But yeah, it's very nice to watch. It cleans things very nicely. It picks things up. I've run my normal vacuum cleaner and then run this, and it still does get a little bit more. So it is very nice. Also within the app, we can see some of the different options. There is a product health section. There's not really much to see there. It's entirely possible that they just haven't really even activated that yet because it just comes up with a blank screen. But there is the product settings. You can see the firmware and whatnot in the about. You can locate it, so that is nice. If it does get stuck somewhere while you are away from home, you can go into locate and tell it to make a sound, and you can then, you know, echolocate and find where you need to go. For cleaning preferences, you can change the amount of liquid that it's using while mopping and the amount of suction that it's using as a vacuum. Right now, it just comes default on standard and medium, but for the amount of liquid, you can go to echo or ultra, so less liquid, more liquid. Or for suction, it's on medium, you can go high or low, and that's going to change how long it can run, but also how much it's actually sucking up. So. Also, it does say on low, it is going to be much quieter. So if you like to run it at night, that might be a good thing. I still would not want to have it running around in the bedroom. Even if it's on low, it's not going to be quiet enough. You're still going to wake up. But yeah, it is nice that you can actually adjust these things. And it does also say robot language is voice. When you go in there, there's no other options. So yeah, while it does have, I'm guessing they'll implement other voices. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But as it stands right now, there isn't really any other voice options, but maybe you'll be able to change that in the future. Otherwise, you've got Wi-Fi settings, reconnect the Wi-Fi, reboot the whole thing. But otherwise, yeah, very nice. You can check out the status. You can see it's ready to vacuum, it's charging. You can just tap one of these buttons and it goes ahead and runs the vacuum. So all in all, I'm fairly impressed with this. It would be nice if it could actually tell where to do the mopping and switch from vacuuming, whatever. I'm sure they'll get there eventually, but I don't know, 4 out of 5 stars. So thank you to Best Buy for sending this to me to check out. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. Otherwise, like, share, subscribe. I will see you next time.